Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Pipe Bomb Sports. I am your co-host, The Monk, along with me, Nellyville, Jimmy Dugan, and Vin.
Who put you in that chair?
Yo, you know, I tell you,
Did you graduate from the couch?
I've been so used to just being the guy on the couch from Half Baked, and now I'm here. I'm doing bigger things. I'm co-hosting. It's a pleasure to be here. You feel some power in this seat.
Yeah.
And speaking of power, you know, has it changed in the AFC over the past few years? Because to me, you throw two names and they are synonymous with power and success, and it is Tom Brady and Bill Belichick.
Monk, you took the words like straight out of my mouth to the point. I mean,
Just end the show now.
First of all, did we all not call a blowout in this game? Let's
did.
go
We
did
did.
we all go not 2-0? Dugan, did we go 2-0?
We did.
We said it was going to be a Robin Stop New England Patriot party.
Definitely.
I
And
mean,
that's exactly what it was.
I mean, where in New England's offense and defense,
I know,
or special teams,
where was there
not the
in their
better
armor?
team?
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Vin,
Beat them up and down the field. They
beat them
up and down the field.
in every aspect.
Every aspect of the game, they got beat. Every aspect. The Colts were not ready. They were too young. Could not run the ball. One defender, one cornerback is not going to stop Tom Brady.
Yes.
I'm sorry. It's not going to happen. Just
Jimmy
get
D.
ready for next year, I guess.
Was
What about you, dude?
Was it more of just a complete team coming against a more incomplete team, or did Andrew Luck just feel he had no help and he had to put so much on his shoulders that even he failed to succeed?
He had no help.
He had no
At
help.
all. I'm sorry.
Nothing.
His wide receivers are terrible. His running game is terrible.
Yeah.
You can't go and beat a team like the Patriots. You just can't do it. He got lucky last week against an injured Peyton Manning. So, luck doesn't last forever. So
Yeah, luck doesn't exactly.
That was good,
It was
So-
truly the word luck, synonymous with his name. What I noticed is T.Y. Hilton, their only receiver, he
catch.
couldn't even get open,
One catch.
let alone getting targeted. He
You have
couldn't.
Darrell Revis on him. What do you think is going to happen?
Vinny couldn't even get open,
gonna happen?
for a pass
Of course not.
attempt. And you got Hakeem Nicks dropping balls, and just you saw. We didn't really think that Booby Heron was this heralded great running back. He's not exactly Adrian Peterson, so I'm not surprised with the result. I don't think any of us are. I don't know if any of the viewers are. To be completely honest with you, you know. You look at these playoff games and you think, okay, these are two favorites, so one of them has to lose, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
That wasn't the case.
You're right.
We looked at it, and who was more likely to lose? The Seahawks?
Yeah, I mean, who would have thought that? We said one close game, one blowout. But you know what shocked me about this game in New England, Indy? That actually the interception Brady threw to Gronk over the middle of the game.
Yeah, you're right.
That's
When
when I
they were-
thought the game changed completely.
Yeah.
That was a 14-point
14-0,
swing.
right? Yeah, and then they came
went
down
90 yards and scored. I went, oh, we might actually have a game.
Do we have a ball game?
Exactly.
Yeah. And then you just watch Brady
That was the only fear I had in this game. When that happened.
methodically move down the field. Danny Amendola decided, hey, I'm a pretty decent wide receiver.
I'm still in the NFL.
I'm still in the NFL. I'm still getting a. Maybe I should do something here. You know, I tell you, his
Amendola.
safety blanket, the one I was very impressed with, is just Julian Edelman. You are fantastic.
Game in and game out.
Right?
Edelman, game in and game out. Edelman.
11 targets.
Never
11
ceases to amaze.
11
It's
targets.
always
11
that way,
targets,
though.
9
It's
catches.
always that way. He always gets targeted 10 times a game.
You know why? Because they have to double
And he
Gronk.
always produces.
Always.
He always produces.
Always produces.
Always. Everyone thought when they lost Walker, they were done.
Yeah.
They found Edelman out of nowhere.
Vin, did they even skip a step? Or,
No.
Forget did they skip a step?
Steps.
Are they better?
They may be
Are
better,
they
yeah.
better? Dugan, are they better? They might. Dugan, they have no legit. Did you see
Dugan.
the thing that I am just? We all knew New England was going to run the football. We didn't see LeGarrette Blount last week. We knew we were going to see a big dose of blunts this week. He is.
What about the wide receiver end around Edelman ran? That
Oh
thing was ran in like 0.5 seconds.
This guy-
He was down the
He can
field
do
and the
it
crowd was
all.
going nuts. I didn't know where the ball was.
What I didn't
It was
understand was,
wild.
honestly, what were the Colts doing on defense? No,
not
honestly,
playing.
half the time
Tell us, Dugan.
you had Davis on Gronk, but then you put a linebacker on Edelman.
Oh,
Yeah.
Edelman is one of the fastest wide receivers in the league. He's not getting guarded by any linebacker in the league.
is it
Not
all just
one.
because of Rob Gronkowski?
I know.
Is it
He
because
just
of the
fears.
Gronk?
He brings fears to defenses. That's what he does.
Defensive
He's a
coordinators
big
have to
tight
game
end
plan against.
that
They lose
he's
sleep
a big
over.
tight end that linebackers can't stay with because he can outrun them.
I mean, either way,
And
you're gonna
that's
lose.
it.
Vinny, I got a question.
What's up?
Does any of the blame for this absolute blowout of the Colts go on Pagano because he's praised as a coach? Do you blame Pagano for this, or how do you feel about that?
I don't know if you can blame Pagano necessarily because, I mean,
You
he
know,
just ran
they
into
just
a
got out
buzzsaw. There was
game
nothing
planned, I
else
felt
you
like.
could. But everybody that goes against
Nelly,
Belichick, especially in a conference game, is going to get
why I
outcoached.
asked.
And yeah,
You know,
exactly.
now-
What about you, Duke?
You know what it is? I just think they need more talent. You really can't.
We
blame
like
him
Pagano on
because
this. We like Pagano.
Pagano's a good
Yeah.
coach,
Yeah.
but when you fall down 14-0, you lose your game plan.
Especially
they
in
didn't
New
run the
England.
ball. They couldn't run the ball, but I'm just saying your whole game plan changes. So if they had some better talent on offense, be able to actually score with the Patriots, I think it would have been a little bit different.
Monk, you
I
blame
was-
Pagano at all on this?
I'll tell you what was impressed. I thought going into halftime, a team with so much vigor and life, the Colts, they're so together between what happened with Pagano and just bringing in Luck, and they're just a young team that's together and going pretty far, maybe exceeding some expectations, maybe others not. The thing that I noticed was they looked deflated coming out in the second half. They didn't look like they had any adjustments that they could make that were going to be better than Bill Belichick's. They had their number from the first half all the way down. And like you said, when they scored that touchdown, Nelly, I thought we had a ball game. And then what happens next drive? They go right down. Then I knew.
Exactly. I don't blame Pagano. I asked that question because I think they did play hard for him all season long, and they got to a next step. And we said when they beat Denver that they acted like they won the Super Bowl, and their mindset is not to win the Super Bowl.
Exactly.
So for Pagano, they did do that.
Right.
They did do that. But, I give it to Belichick, too. Not only did he put Revis on Hilton, he put him on Moncrief as well, and they really took him out of the game. Really, defense style. Angela couldn't do anything. I mean, 128 yards I'm looking at here. Even watching the game, it was brutal. It was brutal. And the Cripps fumble on the punt return really deflated them as well. That was hard.
Yeah.
That was hard.
On the Patriots, was that LeGarrette Blount or Marshawn Lynch?
Yeah.
Because I mean, I have to give him credit. Listen, I understand it's game plan. Belichick, you can lead a horse to the water, but you can't make him drink. But this horse drank. He was drinking the Belichick Kool-Aid, and he was great. He got 157 yards, 2 touchdowns. Are you kidding me?
You find these quotes on Wikipedia with that?
No, they're all in here.
Is that quote? Are you kidding me?
This guy LeGarrette, man,
horse.
I was very impressed. And now you see Jonas Gray had 1 carry at the end of the game just to make him feel like he's part of the team.
And the fans went nuts.
Melly, let me ask you something. Who did they line up the game with first? LeGarrette Blount?
Yeah.
Jonas Gray? Oh, no, wait. It was Shane Vereen, who we
It was
hadn't seen
Shane
any of.
Vereen.
This guy... Are you kidding me, Belichick? Did you make this universe? What is with you?
He legitimately just changes game plan every week.
He is so
It's
special, man.
Crazy.
Changes it every
you
single
don't
week.
know how to prepare for a Bill Belichick team.
Yeah.
Exactly, you're right.
Vin, what's your take being a Jet fan over there? How'd Revis play in this game? What would
Vin,
give
you
on a
missed
scale of
Darrell
1 to 5?
Revis. Admit it.
Yeah. Oh, but
Admit it.
I
You
admitted
miss
it
him.
once we got rid of him. I admitted it.
Yeah.
That means the second best corner
Second.
behind Sherman
Yep.
in the league, I think.
Definitely.
I mean,
I agree.
he played like he was supposed to play. Got an interception. He played like he was supposed to play. That's what you're expecting from Darrell Revis.
Were
That's
you
what you're expecting.
You only had 1 tackle, too.
Were
but
you
That pick was
The
insane.
pick was ridiculous. I mean, insane.
Was
Month
that
of time.
injury? I know he came back and he played fine. What was it?
Exactly.
What did anything come out with that?
That was on the Andrew Luck rollout play where he
Oh.
broke the pocket
Yeah.
and he hit someone in the shoulder.
Right,
And
right.
That's why I asked that, because when Revis went down, I'm like, oh, same down.
Yeah.
Revis gets hurt in big games. He's going to be out for the whole game. And, like, you thought the wheels were going to turn a little bit.
Right.
Stayed in the game, came right back, made a
2
tremendous
weeks rest.
pick.
Yeah, 2 weeks rest.
Big Revis
Fine.
play in a big stage.
And plus it's
unlike
Belichick, he'll
Akeem
be
Talib
on-
in Denver.
He'll be on the injury report because it is Belichick.
Yeah.
He has Brady
Yeah.
on the injury
He'll
report
be,
every week.
He'll be a doubtful
He will be
on
on
the injury report.
Yes,
Yeah, he'll be a doubtful.
He will.
Fully be
He
healthy.
will. We know that one already.
Yeah. Bill and the boys. I mean, Bill
what it
and the
is.
boys. And they just do it again. Vinatieri missing a field goal in the
Yeah,
NFC
who
Championship
expected
game.
that?
Who saw that?
Especially in New England where I used to play. Come on.
I mean,
Who
Vinatieri
expected that?
misses close. This thing
That wasn't
held
even
right.
close, yeah.
Like I was on the golf course. Like I was like,
Yeah,
holy
that was like that would be like one of my
I
golf
went,
shots.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's definitely
Yeah, it was
Dugan's
really
golf
bad.
shot.
Vinatieri
That 0-11
felt
came
that
out real
Foxborough
quick.
magic.
What happened? Yeah.
Okay.
Kicking for the wrong team.
So let's bring it up now, guys. We covered the game. The Deflate Gate. Did this matter? We got the reports that 11 out of 12 balls. First of all, why do you think the 12th ball was okay? Who was that for? What was Bill's intentions for the 12th ball? Was it Garoppolo? Because I think it was for Garoppolo.
He had to leave one. I mean, you can't do it to all 12. I mean, that's a little completely
That's
obvious
amazing.
now. I mean,
That's
He had to
amazing.
leave one. But, I mean, I don't know if it's even an advantage. I'm hearing that some of these receivers with their big hands would rather the ball with full air so they have a better chance of catching it. I see where they're coming from, but I don't know.
Why
I mean, that
even do
didn't
it?
change the game. That didn't change the game. Even if the balls had full air, I don't care.
I think we all agree that
Yeah.
nothing would have changed the game.
Nothing would have changed the outcome. I don't think, but it
Okay.
does help the quarterback. It does.
You're okay. It
It
would have helped the
absolutely
game.
does.
You're
Sports
right.
science,
Wouldn't
Jimmy
have
Dugan.
changed.
So
Dr. Dugan's back.
a slick ball, it's hard to grip it when it's a full inflated ball. If it's a little
Especially
thin,
if it's raining.
you can
Yeah,
see
it
on
was
the
wet,
picture.
yeah.
You can see the ref is actually pushing his thumb into the ball. You could actually see
Yeah.
it.
Well, it was 2 pounds.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Light,
saying.
yeah.
Right, right.
It's easy to grip and it's lighter, easy to sling. I mean, it does
But
help.
every
I
pass
don't
wasn't a
think it would've
perfect.
changed
Every
the outcome
pass wasn't a
'cause
perfect spiral though.
Patriots
My
were
question
a
is,
lot
were the
better.
refs in on it though?
We gotta
Gypsy,
find
don't
something.
do
That's
that.
what I
Don't do that.
Sorry.
This is a room full of conspiracy theorists, so I don't know. You know.
Gypsy, for like 5 months, we have said the sport is fixed.
Yeah.
Fran is crying somewhere that the sport is fixed somewhere.
Yep.
He hasn't still recovered from it.
Yep,
But
yep.
I wouldn't be surprised. How could you blame New England about this? The refs have to check the ball,
Every-
Gypsy.
Every
They
down,
gotta
put it
check the
down.
ball. It's like a basketball. You see a basketball ref grab a ball, they check to
Bounces
see,
it,
they
yeah.
bounce it. Oh, this is a good ball. You have to. That's your job.
Yeah.
That's your job.
I just don't understand how it. Like the NFL doesn't have control over it. Like the Patriots supplied those balls. How does someone not from the NFL, like some NFL exec or
At his
whatever?
home
Yeah, but
cooking
how's
at
the
his
balls?
best.
How is every ball not checked by a
Before the
grounds
game.
crew
Yeah, I don't
or
know.
some kind of crew
I don't know.
before a game to make sure every ball is accurate? I don't
I
understand.
guarantee
that.
they will be now.
In a championship game, yeah.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing in a championship.
In a championship
The
game.
whole
Just
thing.
Bill
Come on.
Belichick's just the best of the
He's
best.
the best.
just
He
find
is.
loopholes
the best.
everywhere.
He just finds any kind of hole to get through, and that's it.
He's unbelievable. He's unbelievable,
best.
Monk. He's unbelievable.
He really is.
I mean, but even with the Deflate Gate, you think that a draft pick should be taken away. If it comes out New England is, absolutely at fault here. Bill Belichick was involved. What should be the punishment? What would you give? I would
It's
give
tough.
the first round and second round draft pick. And you know what? Goodell really has to think about suspending Bill Belichick for the Super Bowl. He really has to send a message with all this stuff going on this whole season.
Oh man.
I know it's going to disappoint fans, but you know what? You got to say you can't cheat the game.
See,
you can't cheat the game.
Do you think he
It
should be
just
only
can't happen.
Super Bowl
Can't
now? You
happen.
think he should only be Super Bowl?
Go ahead, Vince.
See, personally, I think if this comes out that this is true and it was all Bill Belichick, this is now his second scandal that actually came out.
Spygate.
The Spygate was the first one. Now you have a second one. You have to suspend him for a whole season. You have to. You have to give him a whole season. It's just. Come on. Every 8 years, you're gonna come out with a new scandal to try and. Come on, that's
And you know
a
what
joke,
the sick
you know?
part is? Robert Kraft still won't fire him.
No,
He still won't fire
Of course, how can you fire him?
him. Yeah.
How
Dukes,
can you
what
fire
would you
him
take?
if you owned him after you?
What would you do
He
if
definitely-
you were Goodell and it
This is
came
tough.
out full-fledged
This
New
is
England's
tough.
fault?
It's tough.
What's the
If
punishment?
it comes out, I don't think he'll get suspended for the Super Bowl because I don't think they're gonna have enough time or whatever. But yeah, I gotta agree with Vin, man. You gotta suspend him for a year.
Wow, guys,
year.
this is
This
is a major
this
thing
is
you guys
too
are saying right now.
Has to be
Yo,
done, Andrew.
this is too.
No
major.
draft picks just a year, or draft picks any year?
No,
Oh
just a
my
year.
Just a
God,
year, yeah.
okay.
No draft picks.
No draft picks affecting the.
Listen,
God.
the Patriots have 40 draft
I was gonna
picks
say a
every year anyway,
fine.
so
Yeah,
I was gonna say a hefty fine, and you guys
this is
throw him
two
out of
now.
football,
This is two,
exile him
Andrew.
from
This
from
is two.
society,
This
make
is
him live,
two.
live with it.
Come on,
I don't
this
know,
is
maybe
two
not a
now.
full year, maybe a couple games here and there, but
No, I
a
give him a
fine
full
does
year.
nothing for these people.
I know,
They
I
make
know,
so
I know.
Yeah,
much
exactly.
money.
I understand.
They don't
Robert
care.
Kraft will
fine.
gladly
That's
pay
like
that
Jimmy
fine.
Johnson in
Get it.
NASCAR.
Right.
Him and his crew chief have been cheating the system for years.
I'll take that $1,000 fine to
don't
win
worry.
a $2 million purse.
Exactly,
Yeah,
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 that's what it is.
yeah.
Fix
do
the
it every
AFC.
game.
Try to
You
fix
fix
the
the
AFC championship game. And you
love
beat this team 45-20 during the regular season.
I love
There's
it.
something wrong with you, Bill, but we love you because we would do it too. Who would think of this?
Yeah.
If you're not cheating, you're not trying.
Monk,
That's
You
my
have to
motto.
be.
you're
some
thinking
kind of
fine
genius.
only.
I'm really thinking fine only.
It's gotta be a hefty fine.
Maybe a draft pick. Fine and maybe a draft pick. I can't see this guy
Maybe a
getting.
draft pick.
I cannot see this guy getting suspended for a whole year. This is ridiculous what you're saying.
He
It's really
deflated
not.
the balls that were used in the AFC Championship game. It
Do
was
they
like
have
he was
proof?
playing
Do
the
they have
Browns.
Belichick on
It
camera
wasn't
with
like
a
he
pin?
was playing the Browns in Week 6.
There it is. Was this not
Frickin'
noticeable
zebras
watching the
ruin
game?
everything.
You know
That
what's
took
funny?
5 minutes
Yeah.
for the ref to take the ball when Tom was at his own 15 to push the ball on the sidelines, get another ball, wipe it
It
down
really
with his left
did, I
glove,
know,
and
I
put
know.
it back. I'm like, oh, I guess the balls are wet. I never thought it was
Yeah.
deflated. I come
Oh.
on.
Start of the
Because at one
third, they
point-
changed the
Deflate
ball.
At one point in the game, you see the ref putting down the ball, and it's filled with that white chalk.
Yeah.
You're like, what's wrong with that ball? Oh, maybe they put chalk on the ball for a little extra grip
Oh
or something.
man.
Maybe that's
then
why
this comes
Vinatieri
out.
went right. Maybe that's why I didn't
Maybe
think
he
about
was
that.
using a kicker ball.
And the ball was for Goskowski, the 12th law. Now we're on to something.
Yeah, you're
Well,
right,
those kicker balls, they say are a lot slicker, obviously, right? They're not rubbed down and all that. It's-
True.
That's like Sherlock Holmes.
ball
We might have
probably
broke
for
the
the
case on the show.
We might have cracked the case.
We might have got it.
Adele, we
Yeah.
might have cracked
Air
the
means
case.
it'll bigger boom.
That's
I can't. I can't.
Another crack case.
We got it.
We got you, Goodell. Don't worry about it.
But
Unbelievable.
besides Revis, what do you take away from the secondary of New England in this game? I
Man,
mean,
you know, besides the Brandon Browner gets a penalty every 5 plays.
Yeah.
But you know what, Vin? I think Belichick tells him even after those penalties, be aggressive, be
have
yourself,
to.
play your game. Don't worry, don't worry about what's happening. Don't worry about how the refs are calling it. Play your game, be aggressive. I'm actually very impressed with their linebacking core. I think Rob Ninkovich is everywhere. He's not exactly Luke Kuechly, but he's everywhere on the field. And you throw him in. You get Chandler Jones. I like their defense. I like their sector. I like Patrick Chung. I think he's a serviceable safety.
very good.
Yeah,
very
he's very
good.
serviceable. He reads the run good. He's
Jamie, you're saying Ninkovich. What about
Collins.
Duke? Collins.
yeah, absolutely.
He's phenomenal.
Collins is fantastic.
I know Collins is your boy, Dukes. What'd you see from him this week?
He's got the speed. He can run with any running back. If you
Yeah.
look back at Colts games,
Yeah.
Boom Heron was catching 8 passes a game.
Yeah,
Yeah, he
he
wasn't-
didn't catch
he was-
nothing.
He had
Nothing.
nothing this game.
I didn't
At
even
all,
see
yeah.
him get a
Yeah,
perspective.
because Jamie Collins, he's got the speed.
He
He's
has
got
jump.
really good coverage.
Yeah, he
He
does.
has jump too. Even when he pass rushes, he has jump. I mean,
This is their best
You see,
defense, though.
he actually got a pick in this game.
That
too.
Vin,
Collins.
This is their best. This is their best defense they've had in years, though. I mean,
Okay.
they have two great cornerbacks.
There it is.
Revis is the shutdown. Brown is the
The physical, yeah,
bump
yeah.
coverage.
Yup,
You
exactly.
need that kind of
The bump and
cornerback.
run,
You
yup.
do, yeah, you do.
Correct,
You have
Vin.
Chung in the back. You have Ninkovich, Chandler Jones. You have a great defense.
Collins,
you really
yeah,
do.
he's right.
You bring pressure. Vince Wilfork.
Vince
come
Wilfork
on,
doesn't
I mean,
do anything, but he takes
Jesus.
up so much space.
Two
that
guys
you
have
just
to block him.
You have to account for
Guys
him,
on the
right?
O-linemen have to block him.
Dukes, what'd you
Did
say?
you see that?
Yeah, that was.
Oh,
That was insane.
Are you
what
kidding
is
me?
he doing?
Yeah, bad.
No, but if you're that big, you really can't.
That was after the interception.
What is he doing in there? I never know what he's doing in
What
there.
he's doing.
I don't
Doing,
know.
Vince.
I don't know what he was doing, Vince.
What about Nate Solder with the 16-yard
Oh,
reception?
man.
Offensive
Yeah.
lineman
Yeah.
for the touchdown.
And you know, I
He had
had
more yards than Akeem Nicks.
Nelly. I had just got.
It was only just a dream.
I was
That guy's
I was
done.
telling my friend how good of a lineman Nate Solder is. I swear, no lie, the next play he caught it.
No, he did not.
Vin, I was telling our friend Ronnie, I said, this guy Nate Solder is a shutdown. He is fantastic. Pass block, run block, next play. Next play.
You even catch. This is a joke.
The guy, I swear, I'm not, Vinny, I'm not even, I kid you not. This is not
So-
entertainment. This is the truth.
He
Now-
will pull out any stop. Belichick will
Yeah.
pull out any stop.
Yeah.
Any stop.
Any
Any
stop.
stop.
Nelly,
It was
did you
unbelievable.
see
A
them line up with
16-yard
that formation? What was it, 7?
Genius.
Yeah.
How do you guard that?
You
They didn't even complete a pass. They did a screen to Brandon LaFell and he dropped the ball. Remember?
Yeah.
That
Yeah,
play
that's right.
probably would have.
Yeah, that was Douglas.
That would have been like an easy 12 to 16 yards.
Yeah,
Like
the blockers.
because the blockers, everything was set up.
The
How do
ball-
you account for him?
The ball went off his foot and like shot
Yeah,
up.
yeah,
15
right.
yards. Like,
Yeah.
what the hell just happened?
Shots in
It was like a
the air.
rocket shot at an NBA basketball game. Like you shoot T-shirts in the thing.
Nelly, you know what I noticed, and it's
Absolutely
something that we
not.
all notice about Tom Brady and Belichick, for that matter.
Yeah.
It's never over. If it's 35-7, they have to keep scoring. Brady scored that touchdown, made it 45, I think, to 7, and he was on the sidelines like, yeah, pumping his feet, going nuts.
And I brought that up last
Dude,
week
you're
when
up
we played
7
Baltimore.
scores.
What are you doing?
It's 4 minutes left. Like, what are you
That's
doing?
why they're so scary, though.
Yes,
That's why they're
Vin.
so scary.
Yes.
They don't take their foot off the pedal like other
Consistency.
teams. They don't.
Yeah.
They don't.
I gotta say this. I at what point now, if you're the Colts, that you regroup, that you could get here again next year? Is Reggie Wayne done? Is he out of the equation? What
Yeah.
do the Colts
Yes.
have to
Yeah.
do
Reggie
have
Wayne's
to
in
Yeah.
order to get here again? What kind of is it? Pieces? Is it what is it? Dude, what do you think the Colts need?
Wow, the Colts off-season problems.
mean-
They have no defense,
They
Vin.
need another wide, absolutely,
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
go opposite Ty. I think Wayne is done. I
Yeah,
think you
he's
gotta
done.
Get rid of Akeem. Just do it.
Yeah.
Just
He's
They need
nothing
more
anymore.
offense.
Yeah.
And it's not the line; it's the weapons, the wides,
ru-
and
but
the
you
running
also
You need a
backs.
run game.
You need
too.
a running
Trent
back.
Richardson didn't even play in the game.
You have
I mean,
to
with
cut
that
him. You have to-
horrible
he's
first round
cut.
pick.
Yeah,
He's
he'll be
already
gone.
now.
I mean,
next week.
Bobby Heron, he might be okay, but I see him
But
in a
he's like
two
that
running back
change-
system.
He's that
Yes.
change of pace back.
Right, I see him in a two.
Exactly.
Right, exactly.
He's
You
not
need a
like-
power back to play
he's
with
not a
him, and then
full-time
you'll be
kid.
okay, I think.
Yeah.
You have
'Cause
to
if you-
also fix up your defense a little bit
Yes,
too.
yes,
Your defense
yes.
just a lot.
I know. I just feel like helping the running game will help
Cornerback
Andrew
wise.
Luck a lot. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
I'm-
it will.
Right?
That it will. Yeah.
We're consensus that they're not going to take a step backwards next year, or they are, and it may take him 2 years, or you expect them to be in the AFC Championship again next
It
year?
all depends on the moves that they make in the offseason. I personally think they'll be back in the AFC Championship game again next year because who's really going to be there? If Peyton's really hurt, like
he's
they
done.
say he is,
He's done.
I don't trust San Diego with Phil Rivers. Every time I was up there. I don't trust Andy Dalton.
Maybe Pittsburgh or Baltimore, Vin?
I mean,
you know,
I see Pittsburgh.
maybe the
over
Dolphins. Can the
Baltimore.
Dolphins take that next step?
AFC is tough.
Johnny Manziel's
The
in trouble.
Dolphins have other things to worry about. We're bringing back Mike Wallace. He's going to be a free agent.
Right.
Mark, I got a question for you. Would Larry Fitzgerald be a good pick there? Because he's going to get cut. Because he's
He
making
would be
23.8.
fantastic there. Even though, yes,
you know, that just
absolutely.
hit me right
because
now. Would
they
you
are.
pick Larry
You know what?
Fitz
I
into
noticed
them?
more about them. They're two great football minds besides football players. You know, Larry Fitzgerald knows the game. He's got a grasp for the game. And Andrew Luck, obviously, he has one like no other. He's ahead of his time, you could say. So I think, you put him with him.
I mean, that's a big
That
name.
honestly wouldn't
That's
be a
a
bad
big name.
signing.
T.Y.'s a very good wide. You know when T.Y. becomes
if
great?
you cut Hakeem Nicks, you bring in Larry Fitzgerald. He could turn into like an Anquan Bolden was.
Right.
Exactly.
I was
I
going to
think
say,
Monk's going there right now.
You
with
know
that.
when T.Y. becomes great? When he doesn't have to be your number one
Exactly.
anymore. That's when T.Y. becomes a great guy to have on your team. You know?
When he can run the seams up the middle.
Definitely. As good as
He's not a
anyone.
number one.
No, he's not, and he shouldn't
There's a
have to
reason-
be. He
There's
shouldn't
a
have
reason
to
he went
be.
to FIU and didn't go to U or Florida State.
Exactly.
I love
You're
T.Y.
exactly
He's a
right.
home run
I
hitter.
agree.
You're
But don't let him.
exactly
He can't run 17 yards over the middle like Larry Fitz can and dive for the ball over the
There's
middle.
nothing wrong with being
Don't
a
let-
second
There's nothing wrong with that.
second NFL receiver.
Exactly,
You know,
yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that.
I agree.
And so in New England now, you're in the next round, guys. What do you do if you're Belichick focusing on Seattle?
Man.
What's the game plan? If you were Bill Belichick, put yourself in the genius mind that he is. What do you think he has to focus on getting his team ready for the Super Bowl? We're not giving Super Bowl picks today.
No.
We're saving that for next week.
No.
But I want you guys, if you were a coach, let's just play devil's advocate. If you were a coach, what would you do? Dugan, what would you do?
Honestly,
Yeah.
I'd rely on LeGarrette Blount again.
Dugan, I'm leaving. I'm leaving.
If you
don't
look
leave.
at
I have no need
last
to be
week,
here.
Don't leave.
Lacey ran really well.
Don't leave.
I was shocked that Lacey
Enough
ran well
leaving.
It
against
is.
Seattle. You could beat them running the ball.
Yes.
And you know they're going to try to take out Edelman with Sherman. They're going to try to take out Gronk. And you got to give it to Blunt. He's a powerful back.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to
I'm
ground
relying
and
on the
pound,
run.
yeah.
As
You
a
have to
Bucks
ground and
fan,
pound.
I love LeGarrette Blount, but he does have fumbling troubles, man. And he's nervous.
Yeah.
You know, he's a good player.
Little bit of a
He
head
was
case,
great for
right?
us.
This is a rough
He's rushing
defense he's
TDs
facing,
with New
yeah.
England. I'm nervous, but you know what? He was brought here to beat this team. Like, it was God's gift to the Patriots. Like, if they're going to have a shot, they got to run the ball.
Yeah.
You got to run the ball.
Well,
But they
So,
also
I
have
focus
to
on
put,
special teams.
They have to put early points up, I think.
Yeah.
You have to put early points up, like the Packers did versus Seattle this week.
Yep.
But you have to score touchdowns when you're in the red zone against Seattle. It's the only way you're going to beat them. They don't have this high-powered offense. They don't have. They run the ball.
No, they don't.
They have a few decent receivers. Don't get me wrong. Russell Wilson's great, but you have to score. If New England goes up 21-0, they cannot score 21 points.
So you think no huddle offense might be a scenario New England does?
You
Okay.
do incorporate the run into there. You do incorporate the run, but you have to get the ball downfield. You have to.
Monk, are you
Exactly.
sticking with the Dugan Blunt thing? You
Yeah,
gotta
I
focus
think
on
running
the power
ball
run?
because if you're Belichick and you watch Mike McCarthy and how his team moved down the field, then when they got in the red zone, that was the
they
problem.
couldn't do anything, yeah.
That was the
I
problem.
wouldn't
So
be shocked, actually, now thinking about it. Bill Belichick, so crazy. I wouldn't be shocked if you guys 2 and 3 wide receiver sets on Sherman because no one throws on Sherman's side.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be shocked
Oh,
to see
good
2 or
move.
3 wide
There you
receiver
go.
sets.
That's why we
take
have
into
this
account that
conversation.
Sherman's
That's
hurt
why
too
we
with
have
the
our
elbow.
talk.
Yeah, and throw on his side because they're not used to that. They're not.
right,
What
yeah.
do they throw 4 times a game on Sherman's side?
Yeah, 5 times at most.
Yeah.
Monk,
That's it.
is Bill scared, you think, that we talk about the linebackers and the pass rushers, that Russell Wilson's too quick for them? Because at times, you're versus Julius Peppers and Clay Matthews, and you see how New England runs, but they don't have that athleticism, hand-grabbing Clay Matthews type. They're very direct into their routes. I mean, you
Closer
you
to
see
him.
how Geno Smith gave him problems, and the running game of the Jets even gave him problems.
Yes.
Both games they played. You know what they're going to do, Seattle. They don't have the great wides. What do you do on defense to stop this? Because it gave you problems all year when you played the Jets twice and when you played Kansas City. What do you do?
you need a QB spot. And that
do
makes
something.
Russell Wilson have to throw the ball, and I think he is capable of throwing the ball. I think he'll have a better game than he had Then look at him towards the end of the game. The guy can throw a
He
football.
can.
Don't
Yes,
you know
he
what I
can.
mean?
He's not going to have 4 interceptions ever again.
Exactly.
He's too
I don't
smart.
see that
He's
happening
too
again.
smart to do
Yes.
something like of that sort.
Hey,
It's
listen,
not gonna
he had a
happen.
bad game in a big
Everyone
game,
has a
and his
bad game,
team
bro.
picked him up. His team picked him up.
Look at him last year in the playoffs. Every game he played was a spectacular game. So he's
Right.
due to have one bad game. And his team still pulled out the victory.
Right.
Down
Belichick's-
16 up there in half.
He's
So,
definitely
come on.
got a lot of thinking to go in the future. One thing that I do want to talk about, though, before we go to break is it's an interesting time down under. Interesting time for me. It only happens 4 times a year. There's only 4 majors. The Aussie, the French, Wimbledon, and the U.S. Open. I try to attend it every year. Opens the tennis season. This is what I love about the Australian Open. You're fresh. So now no player has an excuse. It opens the tennis season. Everybody's fresh. Everybody's had a couple months off, winter break with their family and whatnot. You come back to Australia. It's beautiful weather. It's hot. You're ready to go. Thing that I noticed in the first round, Nadal survived. He before the tournament coming in, he had said, "I am not one of the favorites." And you would say, you turn your head, you say, Rafael Nadal's not one of the favorites.
Yeah, it's
I'm not one of the
Why
favorites.
wasn't he one of the favorites?
I'll tell you what. Then he played a guy, Tim Smyczek, an American, in the first round. It took him
Is he
5
Czech
sets.
Republic?
It took him 5 sets,
Wow.
and he was down in the last set. He had a
Nadal
break.
was? Wow.
He had a re-break and
Wow.
take him down. And this is Rafael Nadal.
Yeah.
Is he
This
getting
is
the best
old?
in the game.
he's not even that old, Vin. He's in his early. He's not old.
Tennis, is he
Oh,
getting old for his?
Not
knees
even. It's
and-
not even the age. It's his body is just breaking down on him. He's just not there. One guy that his body's not breaking down on him. He's like fine wine. Roger Federer.
Oh,
He
Star.
is.
He's a star. Yeah.
He flew right through his matchup. I see him.
First set, didn't he?
He lost the first set.
I was like,
He did, but he's notorious for losing the first set in majors, and then he just wins the
Rips
next
through
3.
it.
He
Yeah.
doesn't. He never takes him 5 sets. Djokovic is more of a laborer. You know, he's more of I beat myself up every time. I'm more of a defensive player. Roger just comes at you with a game plan. He's like a Belichick of tennis. He's got such a brain, such a mind for the game.
You think Roger could pull it out?
Yes,
He can pull
that
this
was
out.
my
He's
next
out?
point.
Okay.
I
You
think
he can
Roger
pull it out?
Federer can win this tournament. I truly believe.
Djokovic, you think?
You know, Vin, coming into this tournament, Djokovic was minus 110 in a
To
tournament.
win the whole tournament?
To win minus 110, Vin. You know what
Oh, my
Federer was?
God.
Plus 400. So you think about the odds. You know, I'm not saying just for the gamblers. It's crazy. You think about it. He's such an odds-on favorite. But you know what,
Yeah.
Vin? I think he gets taken down. Maybe in the semifinals. I really think Roger Federer. I also think, to be honest, Kei Nishikori's got a good shot. This kid came out of nowhere getting to the U.S. Open final. He's got a great shot. You know who wasn't in this, which I was a little sad about? Marin Cilic, who won the U.S. Open. So he kind of defending a major,
That
but he wasn't
stinks.
able. He was hurt. He had to drain his knee, so he wasn't able to be healthy in time.
Do you
but-
think Djokovic finds loses to a young star, or you?
No, I think he has to lose to a Federer
Nadal type.
or
Okay.
he has to really lose to a Murray,
Prominent
a
player.
really
Okay.
prominent player.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I think Murray's got a great shot because
I was gonna ask you that.
Murray
I love
had
Murray.
a lot of swelling in his knee. Murray had a lot of hip problems. Murray's notorious. He's got a weird body. He's got these big calves. He's got this weird build. But when he's healthy, his game is got the heart of a lion.
He does.
He represents
You see his emotion on his
3
face.
lines of
He
England. He
does.
represents that. He's unbelievable. I really, I like Murray's a sleeper, but he's not really a sleeper. I like the kid Grigor Dimitrov, the Bulgarian. I think he's a fantastic player, but he's still a little too young to win a major. The defending champ, just let you know, is Stanislas Wawrinka, who is a Swissman, just like Federer, and I don't see him repeating.
All right.
So,
All right.
but-
We'll go into next week with
yes,
this, right?
it's interesting.
Okay.
It's on at 10 o'clock. ESPN.
How great
starts.
is that? Night
It's fantastic.
tennis. Night
If you guys-
tennis. It's the best.
For, for
I
all
know
the people
every
that
college
sleep.
kid is up,
Yeah,
drunk
exactly.
in the dog, hungover from the night
Everybody,
watching tennis.
they have
Yep.
can't
awesome.
sleep.
All night
It's
long.
on. It's enjoyable. I would fully recommend it. It's a great sport, and this is a major. So these guys give it everything they have.
Awesome, Monk.
Yeah.
Awesome. Can't wait to talk about next
Yep.
week. I love when ESPN break news and go in.
It's awesome.
Oh, it's
ESPN's
great,
covering
yeah.
it. I think it's great.
Yeah. All right, Mark, let's head to break, everyone,
Yeah.
and we'll recap the Packers Seahawks with our YouTube highlight.
Oh, man.
Special guest.
Okay.
Get ready, boys.
A Addicted to Ink, a proud sponsor of the Zaraza Entertainment Network, is Westchester's premier tattoo, piercing, and apparel destination, offering only the finest tattoo and piercing services as well as the best atmosphere you will find. Addicted to Ink is located conveniently at 38 Westchester Avenue in White Plains, New York, right across the street from the Westchester Mall. If you got the itch for more ink, like the Zaraza boys do, get your work done right. Visit www.addictedtoinktattoos.com for more information.
Monday's got you off the wagon? Well, worry no more, because it's now officially a part of the 3-day weekend. So get on board. Come party with the Standby Gypsy, Juju the Model, and Blue Rivera every Monday night for your entertainment week in review, off-the-wall interactive segments, live performances, in-depth interviews, and the latest in sports. The Hangover Takeover is live every Monday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, only on ZenLive.tv.
You're watching the Zaraza Entertainment Network on ZenLive.tv.
All right, we are back, and we are here to talk a little Packers Seahawks with our guest. Nelly, would you like to tell us a little bit about our guest?
Yes, actually, we have Sam Grossi here from 3 Drink Minimum.
Nice.
Huge Packer fan, and our engineer Gypsy showed me a clip on Sunday, and I thought it was hilarious. I want to share it with everyone here tonight. So, Gypsy, can we play the clip? And we're going to play the clip. Watch you guys enjoy it, because it's absolutely hilarious. He did such a phenomenal job. A true NFL fan would love this and watch it over and over again. Fantastic job. Congrats on that. And, you know, the stuff we look for with NFL memes at the Sundays and divisional rounds.
Yeah.
And, you know, we got all with the Cowboys and the Cats and stuff.
Right,
and
it was awesome.
This guy
Yeah,
was great.
yeah,
So, Gyps, let me know when you're ready.
The
We'll
social
put it
media
on.
world, really.
They're great.
It is great.
Here we go, guys. Bike right now. That's hysterical. Sam, you did such an amazing job. Are you with us right now, Sam?
I can't see anybody.
Oh, Tom.
We see you.
Oh, you see me. Hey, guys, what's going on?
Dom.
I just see
Dave.
a beautiful Zen Live TV logo.
Very nice.
Yes. Welcome to have you. Tom, what made you think of this?
Well, here's the thing. So I've been a Packer fan since 1997.
Oof.
And so Sunday hurt. Sunday hurt a lot. And it's crazy, you know, the day after I thought about it, and I was like, there were so many things that have had to have gone wrong.
Yeah.
Like, it makes it almost comical.
Yep.
You know, so I was like, you know what, let me recreate essentially what was my reaction on Sunday and throw it up there. You know, I'll get a few laughs and things like that. And it just exploded.
Yeah.
And it's been phenomenal. I can't tell you how many Packer fans have reached out to me and they're like, thank you so much because this makes this hurt so much less.
Oh, man.
I was like, you know, and you guys know, like, we're all sports guys, you know, so it's more than a game to us, especially for some more than others, you know, so you as a fan, you put so much energy into a season, into a team, everything like that. And to go out the way we did within 5 minutes away from the Super Bowl, soul-crushing. Yeah. Absolutely soul-crushing.
I mean, I'll tell you personally from my point of view, I did, you know, I like the Seahawks to win the game, and just watching it, 4 minutes left, I'm like, after that pick, after the Morgan Burnett interception, I said, okay, game's over. He fell down.
That's exactly what I said.
Yeah. Game is over.
I was mad.
There is no Nelly.
I wasn't saying game over because, you know, the other side of the gamble now, you know, when you see, you know, the Packers over 20 points and you got 16 at halftime and there's 5 minutes left on the clock. And when you get an interception at the 50, okay, and you got 5 offensive linemen and Russell Wilson, and you got 2 Packer guys and Morgan Burnett, and you fall down with 5 minutes left, I was egregious. I get it, 2 minutes, 1 minute you fall down, you waste the clock. Not with 5 minutes left. What are you doing?
Like he's so
What are you doing?
No, I agree.
It was a joke. I mean, even the Packer player told him to go down. I go, this is a fixed NFL sport. Yes. Who in their right mind doesn't run it back all the way, try to the house, at least get in field goal range with 3 runs? And I just thought, this is fixed. I go, this is absolutely fixed.
You know, Sam,
and I was happy at that moment. I rooted for the Packers the whole game. And once Morgan Burnett went down, I'm done. I was a Seahawks fan right away. Right away.
Yeah.
You know, Nelly, like Tom said, there's so many things that could have went wrong.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing. What do you think in particular was the worst thing that happened? Was it the onside kick?
You know, to be honest, and to be blatantly honest, I think the worst that actually happened was the 2-point conversion.
Oh, God.
Because I got to say, Clinton Dix is playing his ass off the entire game. The guy has 2 picks. He's playing a phenomenal game.
Yeah.
That play should have been done. It was literally a lob up in the air, and Dix does absolutely nothing, and it just falls in the guy's hands. You know, so if they don't get the 2-point conversion, you know, it changes the game completely, because then, you know, a field goal from the Packers wins
the game.
It wins the game, yeah.
And they would have.
You know, exactly. So it's that was just really sloppy. I mean, oh my God, Bostic, who I've met before too.
Oh man.
He's a really nice guy.
Oh God,
he
it makes it
wasn't even
worse.
supposed to go for it. You know, Jordy Nelson is right behind him.
Yeah, he was blocking, right?
He's so sure-handed.
Yeah.
You know, the guy is phenomenal. He's a Pro Bowl player, and I gotta think he would have. You know, we can play what if all you want, but
yeah,
he would have caught that ball. That's what I think. He would have caught the ball. And Bostic is just like, I'm a blocker, but I'm going to go up there and try to get it anyway, and then you have that. But to say that entire meltdown is on him, I think would be unfair.
Do you put that? Me too. Do you put that on the special teams coach or the head coach, Mike McCarthy? I mean, you got to let this guy know. Listen, you're a sideman. He's blocking. Yeah, right.
Yeah, I think. Well, the special teams coach, they showed it for a minute. He was screaming at him. And that's the kind of stuff that you practice for. Yeah, definitely. How many times, and it's just one of those things. If everybody does their job on that play, the Packers are in the Super Bowl.
You're right. Yeah, I mean,
100% right.
I think I agree with him on that. That 2-point conversion might have been even bigger than the onside kick.
I mean, it really was, because if they weren't in that position, they're okay.
Yeah.
Another thing though, you got to talk about what was McCarthy doing with the timeouts with the last minute drive of the game in regular time. He didn't waste one until he got over the 50-yard line. I thought he handled that very poorly, McCarthy. And for him to take it out on Bostic, I'm sorry, I put the blame on McCarthy completely.
Yeah, I'm with you now.
From the first quarter.
Yep.
Yeah, no, I hear it. See, here's the thing, because there's different sides, because there's also a bunch of people saying that, when you're on their 1-yard line, Kuhn got in he missed by that much. Right. People are saying go for it. That I actually disagree with, because you're going up against a very stingy Seattle defense. You get the points when you can.
Yeah.
Because if they don't get those points, they might not even be in the position to win the game at the end. So I take those 3 points. That's fine. However, I don't understand what the whole running thing happened. Like, what was it, 5 minutes left of the game after they got picked, and they just ran Lacey 3 times, and he got losses 2 of those 3 times. So that was bad. But the timeouts, that's one of those things that if you go back and you look at that drive, there was 2 incomplete passes. I think it was 2 incomplete passes after the point they already got there. So the clock was stopped anyway. So I figured if they'd gotten to the point where they completed the pass, he would have just called a timeout. So it got to the point where it was 4th down, and they weren't really needed anyway. But I think conservative play calling was also a very large part of why they lost that game. Especially in the fourth quarter.
I wanted to ask you, would you just explain to us why McCarthy didn't go for it on the one, twice?
Yeah.
You
have to go for at least one.
I do agree, playing against Seattle, you do got to take the points.
I would have went for it.
But yeah, me too. The way your defense was playing.
Let me ask you this. Let me ask everybody this. And Tom, would Pete Carroll have gone for it?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Because you let a team go 99.5 yards on your defense.
Okay. Would you go for it?
100%.
Tom, would you go for it?
What happened week 17 when they played the Lions? They went
Yeah.
for it, and they got stuffed
Yeah.
on the
You know,
first
and
drive
that's
of the
the thing,
game.
too.
And that's
you
why they
think that
kicked
was
the
in the
field
back
goal.
of his head?
Absolutely.
Especially that
Absolutely.
with the
That's
Seahawks
why.
defense saying these are two
Yeah,
good
but-
defenses. I failed against one of them. I don't want to fail in such a big stage against
Yeah, but
another
even
one.
on the second time, when you're on the half-yard line, you should try and go for it. Your defense is playing great. You got 2 turnovers. You let them go 99 and a half yards.
That I
You
agree
understand?
with.
You let them
That
go 99.
is-
Your
I
team's
agree with that,
causing
too.
turnovers.
Right. If
You
you
let them
look
go
at it from that
99 and a half
perspective-
yards.
That was the first drive of the game, though, where they got 3 points on the one, right?
It was
On
they were there
Yeah,
twice.
Twice.
I
They
know,
were there
yeah.
twice.
But I'm
The
saying,
second time. I'm talking about the
Because
second
Clayton
time.
Dix picked
You
it
get
off
that
then.
far
If they
in,
went-
Yeah,
come on.
That's right.
Correct,
Come on.
Tom.
You need
But,
at least
yeah, I
7
think
points
it
on one of those
would've been-
turnovers. Come on.
That's the thing. It's funny because especially if you're a Packer fan, you call it McCarthy ball. What he usually does almost every time is run, pass, run, pass, run, pass. Usually then punt. What the one thing that really pissed me off is he came out after the game and said, we wanted to rush Lacey at least 20 times, so we needed to get to that number. See, that's why I respect the hell out of Belichick because he just changes on the fly. If something's not working, he's like, I'm not going to force them to run it.
Good
20
point,
What makes
Tom.
him the best.
Yeah, that's why he's the best.
In-game adjustments.
Good point, Tom.
And it's incredible. You need to have a game plan going in, and I'm not saying forfeit the run completely because I think Lacey was averaging about 4 yards per carry, so he wasn't doing bad.
Oh, no. I thought he
wasn't-
was very effective.
He was doing real good, yeah.
Yeah, Lacey was real effective.
I don't think it was that. It's just that I think in the first quarter, it's too early to not take those points.
Exactly.
Because you don't know what the rest of the game
All
is
right.
look like. Because, Packers played great in the first quarter. They played good for 3 quarters.
Yeah, they
played
played
great
the
for
whole
3
game.
quarters.
Yeah, but you're talking about just the first quarter, I would take the points just because they're almost guaranteed and you don't know what you didn't know that defense was going to play that well the rest of the game. If there's any conservative play calling that goes out the window, that's in the fourth quarter. And they didn't. You have the best quarterback in the game.
Exactly.
And
Aaron
not
is the
letting him
best.
do what you do. No matter how, I love Lacey. I love Lacey to death. I think he's a phenomenal player. He's great. However, you are a passing team because you have Aaron Rodgers as your quarterback.
Definitely.
True.
Exactly, yeah.
You go 5
And-
wide and you make the 2-yard passes with him.
And you don't give him the ball and let him make a play. I mean, they did it. I think it was third down. They passed it to Corliss, and Corliss dropped the ball. And again, I'm
Yeah,
not saying
I
that it's
remember
not.
that, yeah.
You need to take the criticism if you're just. They were playing not to lose instead of playing.
Exactly.
To win.
You're
There
exactly
you
right.
go. That's the point.
Took the words right out of my mouth.
How weird was it when Rodgers tried to set up the screen to Lacey that his right ankle just tweaked
Yeah.
and they
Oh,
couldn't
man,
throw the
did you
screen
see that?
pass
Oh.
to Lacey?
that was bad.
What? I mean, what luck is that Green Bay really had?
I'm telling you,
It was
that's
wild.
That's why I made this video because it's crazy
So
the
many
amount of
contributing
things that
factors.
had to happen
8
in order
things
for
had to
this
go wrong,
happen.
and all 8 went wrong.
Yep.
That's what happened.
Yep.
Exactly. If one of those plays don't go wrong, they win the game, or they're much more likely to win the game.
You're exactly right.
And it's literally like they just switched off and go, we're done, and they just let them get run over for the last 5 minutes of the game, and they
just
did.
played
They got
conservative.
beat bad.
Tom, I can tell you are a diehard Packer fan. But, what I took from this conversation so far is how much McCarthy is predictable, and with the
Yeah.
fake field goal with Pete Carroll, how unpredictable
That's
he
what I'm
is.
saying.
And predictability,
Exactly, yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
predictability versus unpredictability. I mean, and that could have been the difference of the game. Everyone in the world knew Green Bay was running under 5
Everyone,
minutes.
yep.
Do you think
Yep.
Green Bay's defense got caught clock watching the 2 TDs?
Oh, I totally do because Burnett picked that ball off, and you saw the entire side they were going nuts. Which of course they're happy. Don't get me wrong, but they were celebrating like they just won the game. There's 5 minutes left. I was at a bar and some guy turned to me and he goes, "You got this." I'm like, "There is still a ton of time left on that clock," and they wound up killing maybe 70 seconds,
Nothing.
something like
Yeah.
that. So
They would give
and they
away
wound up
plays,
in worse
freeze
field
plays,
position.
Yeah.
If they just let Seattle punt, it really did nothing for them except take more time off the clock, which didn't even help them in the end.
I really think Green Bay fans, true diehard Green Bay fans, like Tom is, that they knew that the game wasn't over. When you give 40-something points to the Falcons at Lambeau Field during the regular season, you don't have a great defense. Yeah, you played good for 3.5 quarters, but Russell Wilson's just a special talent.
They
and you can
bubbles.
turn it up in 1 second.
That's
And
what
that's
it
the
is,
thing.
though.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you play 50. It doesn't matter if you play 58 great minutes of football. If you blow it in the last 2 minutes, that's enough to lose the game.
Exactly.
Just because you're not playing against kids, you're playing against professional athletes that are trying to win. And listen, I'm not the biggest Seattle fan, far from it, but my hat is off to Seattle because they played their asses off.
Yeah.
They did.
And they did not give up once. I mean, even when Wilson threw that last pick, He was just like, I'm going to go out there and I'm going to win the game.
Yeah.
You know, so my hat's off to him. I have a lot of respect for the guy. And I think definitely in those last 5 minutes that they played to win and the Packers played not to lose.
Yeah, exactly.
I will say, I got to agree with you. On those last drives, just the hunger of Marshawn Lynch to not fall and Russell Wilson.
He was getting 3 yards with 4 or 5 guys on his back after getting hit.
Yeah.
I mean, he was
Beast
carrying
mode.
3-4 guys. That's unheard of.
It tells you a lot about the character of Russell Wilson. To just play like that the whole game, and just you come back and you have a shot, and a minimum one at that, and he took it. He took it. I felt when they got that onside kick, you felt it, right, Tom? You felt it going right down the field.
That was the thing. Being a Packer fan for we lived through the 4th and 26 against the Eagles.
Oof.
Oh my God, where's Fran when you need him?
Oh my God.
Freddie Mitch.
It's one of those things that I think Packer fans are just infused with this idea that their defense is going to let them down. Right. I really do, because once they got a touchdown, I go, oh shit, because if they get this onside kick, then we're going to have a lot of problems, because I knew that they were going to score, because Lynch is one of those guys where Lacey has this like just truck you, keep going no matter what, which is why I love him so much. But especially after the onside kick, the momentum was totally Seattle, and there was nothing for Green Bay.
Nothing.
Yeah. You know what was a big Packer moment you got to give credit for? Mason Crosby kicking that field goal at the end of the game to send it to overtime. I mean, the guy was 4 for 4 at that point to make it 5 for 5, 12-man rocking, and hit it.
Every single field. I think he was like 15 for his last 15.
Yeah.
Like the guy, and 2 years ago, the guy was going to get cut.
Yeah.
You're
I
right. Exactly.
thought he lined up for that. I go, he's not making this. This game's over. Everyone who bet the Packers over points is done. And he hit it, and I was like, oh my God. Big clutch kick. Something to take out of like Green Bay fans. Like, wow. Like, big drive went out under a minute. Wow.
Yeah, it really was.
Everything went wrong for 4 minutes.
Yeah.
And to turn it up in a minute, clutch 60-yard drive, clutch field goal, 12 in that stadium.
And he had that 11-yard run where he was limping out of bounds. Limping out of bounds. Limping.
Yeah. I mean, the guy's been playing on one leg for, 4 weeks now since it started in Tampa, and he's still phenomenal. It's absolutely,
really is.
It's ridiculous. And I'll ask you guys, if the Packers win that coin toss,
do they win the game?
Do they win it?
Wow.
Honestly, I think so, yes. I think they do.
Argue that point.
I think they score on the first drive right in the field.
A touchdown, though, Vin?
Yes, a touchdown.
A touchdown. Like, no field goal, no nothing
I
like
think
that.
so.
They go down, they score a touchdown.
I think they find Devontae Adams deep, and that's how they win the game.
I honestly think it goes to the second frame. They kick a field goal, Seattle would have got the ball, but I think they hold on. Yes, I thought the coin toss was everything.
I was really I was shocked that Russell Wilson threw that pass, and I saw how open Javon. And I was like, oh my God,
that was a joke.
Oh my God.
You know what? The defense was still shell shocked.
Yeah,
what was going on?
That's what it was. Yeah.
And if you watch the replay, it's not a trick play. Everybody went.
Oh, no.
They ran straight down the field.
Single coverage. Single coverage.
Yup. It was
panic mode.
They didn't have a high safety. There was a lot of people have given Dom Capers a lot of shit.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. They also greatly improved their run game. It didn't happen on Sunday, but moving Clay Matthews onto the inside really helped their run game. But when you're going again, I mean, DeMarco Murray ran all over him too. The saving grace was Julius Peppers forcing that ball out on a fumble, because if they don't, he scores, and that's a whole different game. Yeah. So it's this run defense that has always been susceptible, especially against very good runners, and Lynch showed them off again. I mean, they did it in week 1. They ran all over them, that's what happens when you don't have a strong run defense. You need to have at least something, just enough to stop them, and they did that for 3.5 quarters. But again, it doesn't matter. It's all how you finish.
Tom, I got to ask you, as a Packer fan, are you mad at A.J. Hawk for the fake field goal as well? Should he stayed in coverage, or went after the placeholder was the right move?
I think there's usually an argument, and it's players, not plays. And again, if Bostic just does what the scheme says, if Hawk just does what the scheme calls for, those plays don't happen. So am I mad at him? I think that if he does his job, they're fine. But that was a huge momentum. So I would say he he pissed me off pretty well.
Yeah, he looked like he panicked, shook his head, and like, oh, okay, yeah, I'm gonna go get him. And
you know
was
what?
just
Put
too
it this
easy.
way, and nothing. The guy made a good
T-Ball could have made it.
hell of a clutch throw.
Yeah.
You know, and he has his face. He
Excellent
looks
execution.
terrified when he's doing it. But what the fuck is that guy gonna do?
Exactly.
Like, seriously, he's not Russell Wilson. He's not going to fucking take down and go 40 yards down the field. What the fuck is that guy going to do? Why are you running up to tackle him when there's a whole bunch of people right next to him about to make that play? And Hawk's just like, you know what? He needs one more because that guy's going to take off and run for a touchdown.
You hit it on the money. He's not scoring a touchdown. It's first and goal, and your defense is playing stout.
Yeah.
What in the world are you going after this guy for and not going to guard the guy running into the end zone? He saw him. What are you doing, AJ?
don't
Go back to Ohio State.
Is it a no-brainer? I hate to assume. Is it a no-brainer that with the healthy Aaron Rodgers, they're able to control this game and not let that happen?
Yes.
A little better, yeah.
I don't think it
I would
matters.
say,
It wouldn't matter.
I would say definitely a little better because you look at because he can scramble. He really can. You know, that's one of the best things about him is that he can do that. Sorry about that, guys. Hold on.
It's all good. He's a god. Aaron's a god.
He's but there's also some throws he missed, like one went right off Jordy Nelson's hands and things like that. So I mean,
The four over by the pylon.
I would say that their chances are better. Maybe they score, but you know, it's that conservative play calling that he always does it though. McCarthy, he always does it. And again, I don't think this entire thing is on McCarthy. I really don't. I think that say it's those 8 plays that just people just didn't do their job. You know, how many missed tackles did you see on the Lynch run? It's incredible, but so much had to happen to go wrong, and it all did.
Even with the drive on the line for Seattle, what did they do the first play? First 2 plays, they ran the ball.
They ran the ball.
Why do you run the ball? The game's on the line. You have to throw. Hurry up. You run twice. Right up the middle.
They ran the ball.
I mean, predictability. Like
They look at him as guaranteed yards. Now that's why they ran the ball.
there you go, Vin.
A pass could be a clock stoppage, and and no yards. Run the ball, you get 6 yards. They were getting 5-6 yards at a clip.
Yeah.
No,
Every run.
and they knew it too. That's the thing. I knew they were going to run the ball. They had to have because that defense doesn't. It favors the pass because
it thrives off turnovers. That defense.
Exactly. And Wilson was having a rough game at that point, and that's the thing. If the Packers were going to win that game, I knew that they had to outscore them on offense because if you're comparing offenses, the Packers take it.
Right.
But if you're comparing defenses, Seattle takes it, which is why I'm saying take the points. Like in the first half of the game. But once you get down to the fourth quarter and you start running the ball, again, if you have 2 minutes left, a minute left, run that ball all day, kneel it, do whatever the hell you got to do to kill that
5
clock.
minutes left.
You have 5 minutes left. There is plenty of game to be played.
I agree.
And you bring into Aaron Rodgers' leg as well. He could have ran for a first down with 5 minutes left if he needed to. That was huge.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
It's definitely a big loss, his leg. But for me, I know you say don't blame McCarthy, but for me,
Definitely.
I fully put the blame on Mike McCarthy here.
So do I, yeah.
For a team, your defense played absolutely amazing. You had 5 turnovers to not generate more than 22 points in the regular season. It should have never came down to those 8 plays.
It shouldn't have.
Exactly.
It definitely should not have. And that's what I'm saying. He's definitely a part of it, and then if you look at, there's certain players that just didn't do what they were supposed to do. I mean, again, they stop him that first drive. Fuck it, the field goal. They don't get that. They don't win that game.
No. You're right.
And it's just, poor play calling and then missed executions is what really
Everything, Murphy's Law, basically.
and it really was on full blast on Sunday. I mean, it was so many things had to go wrong, and they all did.
Well, speaking of Mike McCarthy, what's the answers for the offseason for you? What do you think? What does your team need to get back here and to the Super Bowl? Or do they haven't, basically?
There's a lot going on in the offseason. A big thing is re-signing Cobb, which I'm hoping they do because he's a really phenomenal player. I really like Cobb. Bulaga, too, who played his first season without injury. Their offensive line has been phenomenal, so they really need to re-sign some of those players. But I know that Ted Thompson is very stingy when it comes to his cap room. The fact that we signed Julius Peppers, I was amazed because they never, ever go out and spend in the free agency just because they're a very draft and develop team. So if you look at it, say everything stays the same, which it's not going to, but just say it stays the same. I think your offensive line greatly improved. You have the running game. You have the playmakers. I think, again, and I feel like I say this after every single season with the Packers, it's that defense.
Yeah.
You need to stop the run.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's their Achilles heel is stopping the run and just giving up big plays in the passing games. But, I mean, Sam Shields is great. Tremont Williams is a free agent this year. I got to say, he played great last season. This season he was okay. I wouldn't mind if he kind of went off because I'm sure he's going to cost lots of money. So, again, it's just stopping their run. And I feel like we say it every single season, but it's true. You know, there's a reason why we're getting beaten by the 49ers in the playoffs twice.
Right.
We're getting beat by the Seahawks. We almost losing to the Cowboys. They have strong running backs. And,
There it is.
you
Yeah.
see a pattern.
It's a great point, Tom.
See
It's
a pattern.
great.
That is a great
Really
point.
is.
And Ha Clint Dix is the start of building that, what they did already.
Definitely.
With Ha.
Definitely.
And, Sam Shields, I'm a Hurricane fan. I mean, he was a wide receiver at the U. I don't think he's good on defense. I can't believe he got an interception this week.
Yeah, I was in shock.
I mean, of course, the Des catch was over him. I'm not surprised. But I think Tom, you nailed on the money. True diehard. I love, Tom, about the YouTube video that you're on. At least I'm not a Bears fan because it's true.
Yeah.
It's really good.
Right, yeah.
Perfect ending to that clip. Perfect,
that's
buddy.
very funny.
You gotta laugh, you know what? And someone even wrote in one of the comments, they're like, "Yeah, we're not Bears fans because they're a dumpster fire right now."
They
I'm
are.
like,
They
"Yup."
really are.
That essentially sums it up. It's the Packers. I feel like they can only go up with the arsenal that they have, but there's that little part of you, that Aaron Rodgers is not a kid anymore. He's not young anymore, and the time that he has in the NFL is limited. I'm not saying he's retiring anytime soon. That's not what I'm saying at all. But you need to start looking at it of how close can you get every single season and
course.
still walk away with nothing.
Definitely.
Were you surprised how Aaron took that? Sorry to cut you off. Were you surprised how Aaron took the loss as personal as it was? I thought he would have given a more generic answer than he did, but he's like, this one's going to stick with me for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like,
no,
holy
I'm not
crap.
surprised
You're
at
Aaron
all.
Rodgers. You're hurt.
Yeah.
What a leader.
I'm not surprised because you know what? It was a very similar reaction to last year when they lost in the wild card to the Niners. It was one of those things that this season just felt really special. When they got blown out by the 49ers the first time, after they beat the Vikings, when they got blown out and Kaepernick ran all over them.
Yeah.
That was okay. We lost to the better team. They outplayed us in almost every facet of the game. And then you have last year's 49er game, and the Packers kept that extremely close. It was 23-20. But to go out like this in this game, where and this might not be the popular for 3.5 quarters, the Packers were a better team. They really, really were.
Really were.
But again, it doesn't mean anything unless you
Doesn't
win.
win the game, yeah.
And any Packer fan out there would have loved if the roles were reversed.
Right.
So everyone's saying, well, they played 3.5, they should have won the game. I'm sorry, they shouldn't have.
All right.
Because if the Packers were the one who staged that rally, then everyone, all the Packer fans would be happy just because they won. Because at the end of the day, that's all that matters.
I agree.
Exactly, yep.
I feel like that reaction, they lost the game, and it wasn't even really his fault. He had nothing to do with it at the end of the
Nothing.
game. They
He was
made him
great.
run 3 times.
Yeah.
They didn't even let him try to make a throw. So
Nope.
Take
TJ
the ball out
Lang,
of your
why it
best player's
hurts.
hands,
That's
huh?
why it hurts. You're the best
See what
player. and He
happens.
didn't get a chance to
See what
end the game.
happens.
he didn't get a chance to win the game. I mean, TJ Lang even said, he's like, I would have rather gotten blown out. Because but the specific way that they went out, again, I think it was just shock. It was just shock and awe because they were dominating the game, and they blew it. They completely blew it.
My hat's off to the Seahawks. They didn't give up.
Absolutely.
They didn't give up.
They never give up.
No.
Absolutely.
Peak
How
power
great
mentality.
was that watching Russell Wilson crying, celebrating? I mean,
it wasn't
that was
great for
awesome,
Tom,
man.
but-
I know. I'm saying just as a fan
it
though,
was-
of Russell,
no,
a
truly
person
it was amazing.
who's failing and playing miserable in a big game.
I'm a big Russell Wilson guy,
with
man.
interceptions everywhere, and the guy never quit to
Never
the
quit.
end, bro.
Never quit.
He
No,
never
he's-
quit.
oh.
Unreal people. Jay Cutler would have, as a Bear fan,
please.
he would have been in the
Like,
locker room.
he would have been out in the
He would've
second
been out of the
quarter.
game.
He would have been on the
like,
flight.
Wilson
He
would've
would have been on the
been.
flight home.
Yeah. I mean, even Cam Newton would have had a towel over his head going nuts.
Yeah.
Russell
Right,
Wilson,
right.
to have the strength of mind, and we talk
Yeah,
about
you
Russell Wilson
saw
all
him.
the time,
Yeah.
to just say, all right, don't worry, just keep fighting. That's what
what he
champions
does.
are made of, man.
So I'm
give
going to the
up.
sidelines, talking to his teammates, clapping his hands.
Yeah, still
This
going.
game's not over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I completely agree. That's why I respect the hell out of Russell Wilson, especially him, because you know what? He's also a good, genuine guy.
Yes.
He really
Yes,
is.
he
All the
is.
shit
Yeah.
he does off the field,
Definitely.
it's fantastic. Like
Yeah,
he goes to like what was it?
Every week he visits the children's hospital.
Hospital,
Every
yeah.
week, doesn't
like,
miss a
seriously,
week.
like how can you not like the guy? I
And
mean,
he doesn't do it
it's
for good
just-
PR. He does it because that's
He
what
does-
he wants to
because
do.
That's what he
You
wants
know.
to do. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. So no, I have no ill will against Russell Wilson whatsoever.
He's like
you
the
know,
complete
guy-
opposite of Marshawn Lynch off
Yeah.
the field.
Now here's the thing, and I know you guys are gonna get this reference because I see the Sting shirt.
Oh, yeah.
It's like John Cena.
Oh, like yeah, it is like John.
If you're wrestling, I hate watching him do well, but off the field,
But those Make-A-Wish Foundation charities,
Yeah.
John, you're the best. You're the best.
he's just he really can't lose. So he's it's,
You gotta respect it. That's what it is. Hustle, loyalty, and respect, right?
John Cena's
Respect.
wife has their own. Well, she has her own show, right? Reality show.
Total Divas, yeah.
Yeah, Total
Yeah.
Divas. Yeah,
Oh,
I see him on that show, and he like he lays the law down. Like, hey, can we give? I think Daniel Bryan wanted a loan, him and his
Yeah.
wife, to open
Yeah.
up a bed and breakfast. Hey, you
Yeah.
know, I told him we're gonna lend them the money. He's like, why'd you tell them you're gonna lend them the money? Why don't they have their own money? I'm not lending them $50,000. What are you crazy? You gotta call them and tell them. Like, he's fair.
Yeah, he's
fair.
I think Tom hit it on the money because Russell Wilson is like
John
John
Cena.
Cena.
He's a good
You have
person.
to respect him.
Good
And
person
being a
on and off
Packer
the
fan,
field, right.
he has to respect him. He's right.
I respect that. I respect
Because I
that.
think if Russell Wilson loses this game, and say they lose, it was 16
Oh,
to nothing,
Russell
they'll come
Wilson's
back.
destroyed if they lose this game.
Yeah.
He's destroyed by the fan base. They will descend upon him, going, "You threw 4 interceptions. You know,
Yes.
terrible. Cut him. Don't give him a new contract. Anything like that. You know they're going to tear him apart."
I think he would have showed how devastated he really was and how he let the team down as
He
well.
was gonna
Crying.
cry either way.
Yeah,
way.
exactly.
He was
That's what I'm
crying.
saying.
Right.
He was
Either
doing
way,
it.
he
I
was
saw
gonna
your face.
cry.
He was gonna cry either way.
Russell was a little bit crier.
Yeah,
you know,
that's all right.
it's not just
All
the
right.
waterworks in Seattle.
Hey, listen.
It's crying.
Hey, listen. Nobody ever saying about crying in football. Only baseball. All right.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
true.
And you know, Bill Belichick says it's not just the football; it's our lives.
Yeah.
So that's why he
Says,
deflates
yeah.
the balls.
Oh, man.
That's why he deflates the balls.
You know, that's what it is. But I mean,
Tom, if I got a question, and non-Packers, if you're the Seahawks coach, if you're Pete Carroll, what are you looking towards in this Super Bowl? What are you scared of most?
What am again? You know,
What are you
it
game
comes
planning
down
for?
to it's another fantastic offense. The Patriots have a ton of weapons.
Right, similar.
You know, I think it's a very similar game
Yeah,
plan
that's-
in just that you rely on your defense and you make
Correct.
those running games when you can because, you know, the Patriots defense is susceptible to big plays and the run game every now and then. So,
1000%.
and you know what? And this is the thing too, because this happened last year. But who did the Patriots beat last year in the divisional round before going to? Did they beat the Colts? I think it was
I
the
think they beat
Colts.
the
Yeah, I
Colts,
was gonna say, I think they
I'm
beat the
pretty sure it's
Colts.
the
Yeah,
Colts.
yeah.
And Blunt ran over them like you know
Yeah, he went
again,
nuts.
Like he did, this week. Yeah.
And you know, and that's the thing too, because one of my good friends is a really diehard Pats fan, and he's like, well, you know, we have this running game now, we're gonna kick ass and things like that. Blunt didn't do shit against the Broncos last year.
Yeah, I mean.
So I think if you're a Patriots fan, I don't think it's enough to say, well, you know, we have a fantastic run game and passing game. I think that against
run
certain
game's not
opponents,
that
the
good.
run game is great.
Right.
You know, but I think, you know, you need to also play to your identity. You know, be Tom Brady because that's essentially that team.
Yeah, I agree right there. There it is.
Yeah,
Tom Brady
that
and
is the team,
Gronkowski.
yeah.
Because I do agree, that's a great point. They are a good running team against certain teams and certain defenses.
exactly.
If you watch them against the Ravens with, you know, Haloti Nada breaking the pocket every
can't
time
run the
and
ball,
Suggs, they couldn't run the ball.
At all.
They
Not at all.
They had to throw it Ladarius Webb all game, and it worked. Barely. They had to pull out all the stops, trick plays, you know, seven wide receiver
You'll
formations.
never know what to expect from these
And they
guys.
still only won the game by 4 points. So,
Yep.
you know, and this week, it just goes to show you that if you're able to run the ball in football, you're probably going to win the football game convincingly.
True.
Let's call
It's
it how
very,
it is.
very true.
You know, that's why the
You're
Packers
100%
game
right.
was so crazy because Eddie Lacy ran the ball officially against a great defense.
Yeah.
He ran the ball good enough,
Yeah.
Nelly. You
hey,
know?
hey, we
did
picked
run
the
the ball good
Ravens
enough.
to go in Heinz
Yeah.
Field without Le'Veon Bell.
Yeah.
Because you don't have a running back. You
'Cause
ain't going to win
You
the
ain't
game.
gonna win.
Exactly.
It's
and
December.
Big Ben was hot going in.
Yeah.
He was hot.
yeah.
So
Heinz Field, Ghost, everything.
Definitely
It don't
a good
matter.
point.
You don't got the best back in the game. You got no chance.
I agree, though,
Exactly.
Tom. I think you play defense, and you know, like you said, the Patriots' defense is somewhat susceptible to big plays. And if Marshawn Lynch keeps Brady off the field, then you're doing your job.
Exactly. I think
fully agree.
that's the game plan for both teams. It's keep Brady off the field And, when you're the Patriots, you need to put up points. And the Packers showed it can't be field goals.
Right.
Put the game away early and then lock down
You
on
need
that
TDs
defense.
in the red zone.
Belichick scores TDs
in the red zone.
Scores all game long. He doesn't take his foot off the pedal.
Oh,
He keeps
no.
going.
He'll blow a game out.
He'll score 80 points if he has to.
I was
He
saying
doesn't
that
care.
earlier, that the game's never over with Belichick
Never.
and Brady. Brady
He
was
will
celebrating
keep
after he
scoring.
made the game 45-7. He was pumping his fist on the sideline.
And if he scored again, he'd be partying even harder.
Yep.
Oh,
I respect it.
Tom, I would like to say thank you for coming on. I'm a truly diehard NFL Pack fan. We
Definitely
love
going to
this
be a
kind
great
of talk.
matchup.
Yeah, man.
But I got 2 questions for you. One,
Nelly,
who you
get his
got for the
pick.
Super Bowl?
Yeah, get his pick,
Because we
Nelly.
could get your pick.
Get his pick,
All right.
Nelly.
So right now, thank you for coming on, but I want your Super Bowl pick.
Close
That's
us
question
out with
number
your
1.
pick.
All right, so number 1, I think. You know what? I'm gonna give it to the Pats.
Okay.
I think they're gonna be able to pull it out. Again, I could be completely wrong because if they don't show up, you never know. But my gut is saying the Patriots.
Okay.
Give us a
little
score.
bias.
I want to score,
It's the
Tom.
Seahawks.
And the MVP as well. It's very important.
Oh damn! All right.
And the Gatorade color.
Exactly, the Gatorade color. I want who's singing the national anthem.
Oh,
Are
it'll
they
be next
fuck
week.
up? All right, so I think score. I feel like it's gonna be. I want to say like 31-20.
Ooh, okay.
Wow.
That big of a
I think the
blowout?
Patriots are gonna put up enough points to win the game, and Seahawks will put some points up. But honestly, so I'm thinking that, and I think Brady's taking home
Nice.
an MVP.
Nice. Tom, question number 2. Are you going to do a Super Bowl sequel to this now? Because you got the Packer thing. I know you're a Packer fan, but you know what? Maybe push yourself and do a Super Bowl ad to this.
Yeah,
Because it was really
there's
good,
a
man.
lot.
It was
There's
great.
There's a lot of possibilities now. So we just hit on the channel. It's I think at 27,000 right now. Where realistically after it updates, it's gonna be like 37,000.
Wow.
And I'm thinking that this might be a thing that repeats itself.
Awesome.
Oh.
Yeah,
An omen.
I'm the reception that I
Yes.
got has been phenomenal. So
Yes.
I don't see why it needs to stop.
We loved it, man. I thought it was hysterical.
Tom, it was
It was very
phenomenal.
genuine.
It really was great.
Tom Grossi, guys, from Free Drink Minimum, thank you so much for joining us. We'll
Having me,
definitely
guys.
have you
I
guys on
appreciate it.
again. I mean, you got to come back on.
Thanks.
But we'll see if you're right. That's
Thank
our
you,
first
buddy.
Super Bowl prediction on
That's
Five
it.
Five
We got it.
Sports.
Fresh.
Yeah.
Tom, thank you. And
Thanks,
we're gonna take a break. We're gonna bring on WWE expert Sam Passy on the show now, and we're gonna talk a little wrestling, getting ready for the
Rumble
Royal
preview.
Rumble.
There you go.
All right, stay tuned. Thanks, Tom.
Thank you, guys.
There are men who live their lives brighter and darker than others. And through these experiences, they form bonds stronger and harder than the rest. Here we celebrate this common bond of uncommon men. One does not choose to come here. There are no interviews. A man's right to be here at this table must be earned before he's offered a seat at it. Today we welcome another man who has earned his seat at the table.
We're going to get you to laugh. We're going to get you to cry. We might get you to jerk off. We're not really sure.
Chicks with strap-ons. And you're engaging in sexual congress with a transsexual.
I had no idea. Tell me more.
Ah!
On a world where Broken Filter Live could thrive.
Giddy up!
You're watching the Zadaza Entertainment Network on ZenLive.tv.
And we are back. We just had a great guest on. Talk some Packers Seahawks. A heartbroken guest at that. Thanks for coming on. Now we turn our attention to the Royal Rumble. In Philly.
In Philly, very close to home.
Awesome.
We're going to call up WWE expert Sam Passy. I mean, no one's a bigger WWE fan than this guy. So, Jibs, let's call up Sam. Let's get him on the line. Let's get our Rumble predictions and why sport fans and wrestling fans, should tune in. Sam?
Yeah.
What's up, buddy?
What's up, buddy?
What up?
The Ziggler man himself is in the house. What's up, Sam? So, Sam, are you going to this event?
There's no doubt about it. I wouldn't miss it for the world.
Wow.
Amazing. When you heading out there to Philly?
I'm actually heading out Saturday during the day. I heard there's supposed to be a big rainstorm, so I may have to take the Zamboni out there.
That's amazing. Sam, what comes to mind when you think of the Rumble? Like being a historic wrestling fan, like since birth, and how you know wrestling. What gets you jacked up as a WWE fan for this?
It's my favorite event, including WrestleMania, only because the element of surprise. They usually have a couple of surprise entrance guys you haven't seen in a couple of years, and to be honest, you just don't know who's going to come out. So while when that clock is going down, winding down to zero, the adrenaline it's through the roof.
I agree. I think that's a great part, watching the clock, seeing who's going to come. And
you just don't know. It's just a surprise. It's just the element of surprise. It's just,
The clock is huge. 10, 9, 8, and the fans get into it. They start going, and I think you hit it on the money because I know my heart beats. And a story of mine, Sam, actually was my first ever Rumble I ever watched was '92 with Flair. When Flair won at number 3, and they were talking about it on Monday, and that really hooked me right away. A huge Hogan Savage guy, but Flair, that performance for the belt on the line hooked me right away. What was your favorite Rumble moment?
What a performance that was. Now, I couldn't agree with you more. He had just come from WCW, coming into WWE for the first time. I mean, the Rumble was for the title. It wasn't even for a chance. So, you knew at the end of the match you were going to have a new champion.
Yeah.
And honestly, I couldn't ask for anyone better to win that Rumble. He was incredible.
Sam,
the interview after the match when he said, this was the greatest moment in his career. It was just too much. It was unbelievable.
Jet flying, kiss
God,
stealing.
jet flying, wheeling, another gun.
That's it, man.
Yeah. Were you shocked by that comment, though, Sam? That he said that was the greatest achievement in his career coming from Flair? I was like, wow.
To be honest with you, he had to say it at the time, just coming, to work for Vince. But, that was one of the greatest performances. He was, as you know, he was number 3 in that match. He was in the match for at least 40 minutes. I mean, to wrestle for 40 minutes straight, just in general, is just a task in its own.
Yeah.
So, it was definitely one of his best performances ever.
Sam, I'm going to work on that point. It's great you said that because I'm going to tell you my favorite Rumble moment, and it's also took a lot of durability and a lot of stamina. He's my favorite wrestler of all time. I tell people, I've said on the show that Stone Cold is my favorite, but my mom has videos of me dancing in this hat and sunglasses that could definitely contradict that statement. Shawn Michaels, 95 Rumble. He was a heel. I'll never forget British Bulldog clotheslining him over. One foot. He comes in, throws him out, and everyone's like, what the hell just happened? Yeah. Shawn Michaels legally just won the Rumble. I mean, that was better than the year after when he repeated.
Absolutely. No, I mean, look, even though he was a heel, everyone was kind of rooting for him. You could see his rise started at that time. I mean, I honestly, at first I did think the Bulldog won. As I see Shawn Michaels get back into the ring, I'm like, they wouldn't allow him back into the ring if he wasn't going to do something. It was unbelievable. I definitely thought that his performance was definitely one of the best. He was number 1. First guy to do it. It was just remarkable.
Awesome, right? That's my moment. That's definitely my
moment. You're
the
Shawn Michaels of Morris Park, man. I'll give you that title as long as you let me beat Diesel.
That's it. That's fine.
That's great. But Sam, what are your surprise entrants? Like, what do you feel if you had to give us like 2 names or a name for WWE fans to look after that you don't see on the websites and the rumors that you would like to see as a WWE fan, or what you feel like they're hedging onto?
Well, I'll be honest, I'm getting sick and tired of seeing guys from like the early 90s. If I see Hacksaw Jim Duggan one more time, I'm gonna get pretty sick to my stomach if I see him again.
Sam, he's in the studio with us.
Sam,
that's right.
Jimmy Dugan's here.
Sam, this
can't be in Philly.
This is a fact.
5'4".
This is a fact, Sam. Our friend Ronnie, one night took a picture and sent it, and it was Hacksaw Jim Duggan, and he was bouncing at a bar in the city.
I was there.
Dugan was there. I mean,
you know
this
what?
guy is really fallen. He's really fallen from grace.
I have to stop you. Actually, Ashley Rada from Ashley Olive, from at the time, she told me about Hacksaw Jim Duggan, And we went there for a birthday, and that's how we met him. And Dugan met Hacksaw right there.
That's amazing.
It was Ashley from Girls Eye View who met.
Did he have a 2x4 with him, or?
I was about to go around the block looking for something.
Too much.
That's great. Who else, Sam?
Even Girls Eye View watches wrestling. Ridiculous. But
I
anyone
would
else?
I'd like to see some more guys from the Attitude Era because I feel like that's what
I agree.
we miss the most now. You know,
Definitely.
The Godfather in 2013 was a tremendous surprise. I thought that was cool.
Yeah, I really do. But all right, let's talk about the triple threat now. Let's talk about the match. You know, do you think it goes after the Rumble or before? Because you got Brock
I want it
Lesnar.
to
What
go
do you think?
before because I feel like depending on who wins the the heavyweight title match is going to dictate who wins the Rumble.
Very smart, Sam. Yeah,
I agree,
personally.
Sam.
But how do you think that plays out? You got Brock, Seth, and Cena. Is the strap coming off Brock finally?
Early indications, I would probably say that Brock was going to just retain. However, with him leaving most likely after WrestleMania, I don't think they want him being the champion in his last match as he leaves. I think, and this is just a prediction, like I said, don't quote me on this. I think that Rollins is going to either win the match or more likely, I think he's going to cash in on Cena. I think Cena's going to win the match and Rollins is going to cash in. I think Brock's going to destroy Cena after the match is over. Then Rollins gets up, gets his briefcase, and I think he's going to be the champ at the end of the night.
It's going to be Rollins.
I think it's going to be Rollins.
Now, if Cena wins, does he tie Flair or pass Flair?
What in terms of how many times he's won?
Yeah.
No, that'll be his third Rumble.
Okay.
He'll be tied with Austin for 3.
Okay. I think it has to be Rollins too. And if it's going to be Rollins, it has to be some way. This Money in the Bank has to get cashed in. It really does have to get cashed in.
There's no doubt about it. I mean, look, as we all know, my man Dolph Ziggler cashed in. It was the night after WrestleMania, but I don't think that they're going to wait that long. I think Rollins is emerging as the star of the Shield, definitely the best out of the 3 as of now, and I think they're giving him a big push. He's arguably the number 1 heel in wrestling right now, besides Brock, because Brock's kind of he's in the gray area. Some fans cheer for him. Some fans don't. With Seth, he generates a lot of heat, so I think he's definitely emerging as a superstar.
Yes. So, Sam, with the WWE expert that you are, actually, I reached out to some of our WWE lovers who, read the articles on our website and listen to the show. We do a wrestling show. So I got 2 questions for you, actually.
Sure, fire away.
All right, Frank Lito asked, what's your take on the Ascension and what's with Roman Reigns' weak promos?
In other words, would I take on the Ascension? Do I take him seriously?
Yeah.
Right now, no. There's so many different things that goes into being a good wrestler. I like their music. I think it goes well with their image. I think that they're just a little too much of an old school look. The makeup, the outfits. I think they should be a little bit more serious. Maybe a little bit more of a dry of an attire that they come in with. As of now, especially after seeing what happened to them on Monday, it's not a good sign because usually legends aren't ones to beat up the new guys. Usually the new guys will get the upper hand unless they beat the New Age Outlaws this Sunday at the Royal Rumble, which they have scheduled for a match for. So I think that they could be good, but as of now, I don't think the WWE sees them as something that, long term.
Okay. Yeah, you know what? I think you hit it on the money there because when you got legends, they said the whole thing about the Road Warriors, and they let every faction almost in the WWE beat them up yesterday. It was like, okay, they really shut that down. So I'm with you there, and I got one more question from you. Aaron Neary asks, do you think Sting will have an impact at the Rumble? You think we're going to see him? You think he's going to come out and interfere?
I think we're going to see him. I think it's building towards – that's obvious. He's building towards Triple H versus Sting in Mania, in my opinion. I think that the less they use him, the better it is. I'd like to hear him talk. I hope he says, maybe an explanation as to why he's doing what he's doing. But just the fact of seeing him on Monday Night Raw was just absolutely surreal. So, I'm more for the future. It's really, really fun, and it's good to see him in the WWE once again.
He looks
He looked great on Monday.
That's awesome.
Sam, why do you think he's not coming out with the bat? I don't see the bat anywhere.
I don't see.
And they're calling him Vigilante instead of the Icon. Like, what's going on?
Which is why they're calling him the Vigilante. Like, they're not even just calling him Sting. Every time they say his name, they mention the Vigilante. They're trying to make their own version of him, I feel like, to try and, blank out any sort of WCW association, because as we all know, they're not too fond of that company.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, Sting will always be Sting. I mean,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And Ranieri actually had a part 2 to that question.
Sure.
What surprise an upcoming wrestler will have the best shot to win the Rumble?
That's what I want to know.
What's surprise? Who's your surprise winner?
Who's my surprise winner? Well, I mean, I hate to be impartial here, but the man that I want to win more than anything in the world, the man that it's near and dear to my heart, Dolph Ziggler. I mean, look, he was being built up before the fired storyline, if there was one dark horse to pick that I'd want to win, it would have to be him, especially if Rollins wins the title, because Rollins versus Ziggler, I mean, I know it may not be as appealing, in the sense of like superstars and like, you look at the poster and you see those two names or you see those two faces, the match they will put on will be far superior to any of the other combatants, I think, in the Rumble. So he's my dark horse to win. Is he going to win? Probably not, but I'm pulling for him.
Yeah. But Sam, I got to think, I'm thinking back to the triple threat match now, and where do you go with Cena after this if you're not going to give him the title? So is it weird to say he does turn heel maybe and maybe he helps Seth win?
In my opinion,
because we're going to watch Cena Rusev because he doesn't have a match then.
Right. I think he's either going to eventually. Look, in my opinion, he's going to turn heel eventually because everyone does. If Hogan can turn heel, then so can Cena. They just need someone to take Cena's spot. That's what I think is taking so long for this to happen. Because once Cena turns bad, then wrestling will probably be good again. In other words, it'll just be a little bit more contemporary, and the adult fans will want to tune in more just to see how Cena acts as a heel. Because I can almost guarantee he's going to be a tremendous heel if he is one.
Sam, I think he's going to be a phenomenal heel. I think he hit it on the money. So, all right, Sam, we're going to play a little game right now, a little wager right now.
Sure.
So it's a little Royal Rumble. All right, 1, 2, there's 5 of us here, right? So numbers, we're going to cut it from 1 to 24. All right, I want everyone in this room to pick a number, okay? And let's see, New England Patriots, Seattle next week. So, Sam, if you're available, come on the Super Bowl show with us next week. We'd love to have you on.
Sure.
But loser, now this is stipulation. You're going to pick a number. If your number is in the ring the least amount of time during the Royal Rumble, you have to buy everyone, including our engineer Gypsy, who's the man, by the way, New England Clam Chowder.
Wow.
So we're going to do our show with New England Clam Chowder next week with our Super Bowl show.
I love New England Clam Chowder.
So 1 to 24, you got to give us a number. Who's going to last longer? In minutes. You don't have to win it, but you have to be in the ring the most amount of time. So I'll give it 1 to 24.
I'm going to go with number 19.
19, okay. I'll go second. I'm going to take 16.
Okay.
Well, I'm going to go with number 17 because that's the one that I won with.
I'm going to go number 12.
Wow.
Ben, he's taking 12. I hope you get 3-man band.
You took my number.
Number 12.
Oh,
I have a
my
question. Doesn't
God.
number 1 stay in there a long time?
Sometimes. Could be 2, could be 3, could be 4.
Give me number 7.
7. Okay.
Number
Give me
7. Number 7.
I have a question.
Jips, we want a number, Jips.
Give me number 9.
Number 9. I was going to go 9 if I wasn't going 6. All right, so we'll keep track of this.
Yeah.
Okay?
Sam 19.
But, Sam, I want your last 2 guys, your Royal prediction. Your last 2 guys in the ring. Who has the most thrown over the top ropes, most knockouts, the whole 9.
All right, I think Rusev's going to have the most eliminations.
Okay.
Okay? I think that the last 2 people, it's not popular. I think Reigns and Bryan will probably be the last 2 guys in the ring.
Mm-hmm.
And as for who's going to last the longest, that I'll give to Ziggler.
Okay. You give Ziggler.
I'm interested in this, Sam. I'm rooting for you.
I hope he's number 17 then.
Sam, are you surprised? One quick question. Are you surprised that they didn't do something of a storyline to make Bryan number 1 and number 2, or Roman Reigns number 1, number 2, or Dean Ambrose? I'm picking Ziggler to win it all, by the way.
It goes back to what you asked me about the Rumble itself. The element of surprise is the most important. I like it more when they don't announce where anyone is, just because I don't want to know. Like, in other words, if I knew Daniel Bryan was going to be 1 or 2, I would maybe feel more inclined to think that he was going to win because he's the ultimate underdog. He's the smallest guy. They'll have him go the distance. That's I just feel like the less I know, the better. The less everyone knows, the better.
All right. Well, it's going to be a great Rumble. Sam, enjoy. Thanks for
you so
coming
much,
on with
Sam.
us.
Thank you, Sam.
That
Guys,
wraps
thanks
up.
for having me. I appreciate it.
Sam, what section are you in so we can send some
I
guys
gotta
your
look for
way?
you.
1, 2, 3, gentlemen.
The 1, 2, 3 kid. Hey. Thank you, Sam.
Got it, guys. Take care.
Take care.
Take care. And also, Carl Triano, writer
Yes.
for us, is going to write an article of his prediction, his
forward
thoughts.
to it.
It'll be up on Friday, he told me. So, Carl's been huge for us on the website. And thank you, Carl. And, Rumble's fun.
Rumble's
Make it
fun.
fun.
I'm
Pick
looking
numbers out
forward
of
to
hat with your friends. Throw $5 in the pot and enjoy it. Have a good laugh.
Should
it's
be
a good
good.
week off.
Be a good weekend.
Pro Bowl, Dugan. You got anything Pro Bowl we go off there?
No, I just want to see. Actually, they're going to lower the field goal post. They're short.
It's gonna be interesting to see the change.
I want to see it.
Yeah.
All right.
Vin, Coach K.
He's getting his 1,000th on Sunday.
He's
in the
got it.
Garden.
He deserves
we'll
it.
be
He's
there
the best
in
ever.
seconds.
Best coach
We'll
ever,
be
maybe.
there.
That's it.
All right. For
Thank
the
you, guys.
monk, Nelly, Dugan, Vin, I am the monk. Thank you for tuning in. And that concludes another edition.
Thank you, guys.
Take care.
Guys, bye, guys.